dissatisfaction with the way that monetary policy has gone is one of the reasons why you wrote this book about what happened in 1921.
In 2008, the Great Depression of the 1930s monopolized the market in historical analogy. It seemed that Ben Bernanke could not get through a press conference without invoking the 30s as something we would, there'd be no way that he would suffer us to go through that again. So more intervention, more so-called stimulus, lower rates, more spending, more borrowing. The story here is one of non-intervention. The Depression lasted for 18 months.
18 months. It was from the beginning of 1920 to the middle of 1921.
Yeah, and it was brutal. Commodity prices registered their steepest and fastest decline from the beginning of the Republic to that day, and from that day to this, the stock market was down 45%. Coca-Cola at the bottom was selling for 1 times 1923 earnings in 1921.
Why didn't the government do anything about it?
Well, first of all, nobody had invented the concept of macroeconomics, really. There were no economic data of much consequence. There was a great deal of ignorance of what was happening. It was like Hong Kong in the 1960s when the governor of Hong Kong, a man named Cowperthwaite, on principle refused to let them gather economic data lest they try to do something with them. So the government was operating in a fog of statistical ignorance, a constructive fog, and they balanced the budget and the Fed raised interest rates.
So, I mean, your premise in this book, which I think, as I said, I think folks out there who are not fans of the Fed, as you are not, will find this appealing because this is a time frame where there was a sharp, quick recession, very deep, but it led to the Roaring '20s, as we know.
The hero of the story is the price mechanism. Adam Smith's invisible hand. Yeah.
But here's a question that we'll never be able to answer. What would happen if Ben Bernanke had done nothing, if he sat on his hands?
We can't know that.
Right.
I think the answer depends very largely on one's politics and predilections. I mean, I think it would have been fine, or more than fine. We can't know. And because of decades worth of over-regulation and of support through the Greenspan put and other things, the financial system was extremely leveraged. I mean, nothing like this occurred before the advent of deposit insurance and later, before the advent of so-called central bank puts. So, Morgan Stanley went into 2007 on a statement day, leveraged 40 to 1, 40 to 1. So who knows what was happening between statement days. So that was the state of the financial markets. So it might just have been that the financial system was so jury-rigged and so vulnerable but anyway, here it is, Bill. It's 7 years later. When does it end?
We're trying to figure out how to get out of it.
And that's what makes it such fascinating reading. Jim Grant, out with the Forgotten Depression. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Bill.
Yeah, he's too modest to hold it up, so I will. There's the book. I think you'll enjoy it. Thank you, Jim.